This week on part one of the Real Housewives of New York City reunion.
This entire season, every single comment that comes out of your mouth is desperate Jessel. Oh, she has no taste. This, that, and the other. Like, how am I supposed to be your friend? Spin is really dark, and I just cannot believe that you would do that.
Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to we're going to be talking about the Real Housewives of New York, season 15, episode 16, also known as Reunion Part 1. Let's get right into this. Let me tell y'all, when this season began, I didn't think I was going to actually really going to be looking forward to the reunion, and I didn't think that the finale plus reunion was going to be some of the best reunion I've seen. This reunion definitely made up for the whole boring season that we got. Let's get right into it because there's a lot to talk about. So I'm convinced Brynn might be a sociopath, but we're going to get into that in a bit. So she's going around the dressing rooms to Jessel's in particular, acting like nothing happened. Like she's on a ring around the rosy, saying everything's good, right? And actually, Brynn doesn't watch the finale episode until she's getting ready. And they're showing clips kind of foreshadowing that the reunion is going to be a lot. So let's talk about these looks for 1.2 seconds. Jenna, what was going through her mind? She decided to walk out on a robe. Now, because it's Jenna Lyons, she might be the only one who could get away with it. So I like the uniqueness side of it, but it's like, what? Ubah looked like an African goddess. I mean, just breathtaking. Raquel, I loved the spontaneity of her outfit. Jessel, in my personal opinion, I didn't think that was the best dress that she could have chosen. Sai, I thought she looked like a Latina princess. Absolutely gorgeous. Erin's dress I didn't like, but she's pregnant, so I'll give her a pass. And Brynn's, I personally despised her dress. So Andy goes around saying hi to ladies. Jessel just celebrated her 10th wedding anniversary. She says that she got an iPhone 16, but that's something that she really wanted. Brynn says that she's wearing Jaber. I don't know who that is. All I know is that dress is ugly to me. It's Raquel's first reunion. Erin is due April 4th. That's nice. My birthday is April 20th. And Ubah says that she is Ubah Zen, not Ubah Hot. Andy then asks them for a few thoughts on what they thought of the finale and what should they accomplish today. Brynn says that there will be a lot of understanding. Erin says that she's got a lot of questions, but Ubah, she says that she's good. So Andy kind of goes in on Jenna Lyons first. First, he says that she needs to take away her glasses, take them off, and then he reads a question. But we all know that when he reads these questions, it's really what he's wanting to say. But basically, they were calling Jenna out for not sharing her fiance on the show. Andy says that he saw them at a party, and before he got to them, they literally left. Jenna says that, well, the party was becoming a lot, that Jeff Bezos was there and they needed to go. And she also says that her fiance is a lot and that she might get canceled because she's so blunt. She doesn't really want to put her out there. Apparently they did a wedding in Texas, but she says it was playful and emotional. It wasn't anything legal. And she says that they're together. So that's what's important. Another quote unquote question is about Jenna not talking to the group about her relationship, but then she does on the press. And he's like, you run a reality show. And Jenna apologizes. She says that she has a bad habit of wanting to say things sometimes, but then sometimes she doesn't. So then they move on to Sai. Andy asks if she apologized to Pavit for calling him Dory from Finding Nemo. And Sai says no, she doesn't regret it. And she says Pavit has been running with his doppelganger. She then goes on to say how hurt she was on Pavit calling her a bitch and bipolar. She says that she can't believe that a man would not just say that but not apologize. And I really love Jessel's response, and she wasn't condoning what he said, but pretty much said he has his limits too. You said things that he didn't like. And I gotta say, I couldn't stand Sai last season, but this season she actually really grown on me a lot. And I actually do like her. I want her to stay on the show. However, going back to the context of that comment, Pavit is a human. Whether he's a man or a woman, I don't care. he's a person. And hearing Sai essentially bully his wife last year and insinuate he was a sex tourist, sorry, but he called you a bitch and bipolar. It's not okay that he did it. Should he apologize? I think he should, only if she apologizes too. Sorry, I know that might not be a popular thing to say, but it's my opinion. Then moving to Raquel. Raquel looks like an aunt of mine, by the way. It's kind of crazy. So, an update on her mom. She hasn't been to New York. Her mom hasn't been in much contact with the kids and Mel because she hasn't been able to set up the iPad. Andy does point out that the women were being extra lesbian-y when they were over there. When the mom came, he said that it even felt like they were taunting her a bit. Jenna says that it wasn't intentional. I remember seeing that. I didn't like it, and not because it was a woman on woman, or if it would have been men on men, or men on woman. I just think it's weird. I don't want all my friends to be kissing on the lips in front of my mom. That's weird. But again, Jenna says that it wasn't intentional. Raquel says that she has spoken to her mom a bit, but through text. She says that her mom doesn't watch the show. I feel bad. When we met her mom, I thought she looked lovely. I hope her mom can just accept Raquel as she is, and that Raquel can also accept her mom as she is, because life is too short. So I hope that they are able to better that relationship. So then, switching gears, who told Jenna that Sai hated Jenna? Remember, that was the sort of the first feud of the season. So Erin says, well, Sai definitely did say that she didn't like Jenna, but not that she hated her. Brynn then says, well, it was actually Jenna who told me in a conversation, people have said that Sai hates me, and so I said yes, but then it was turned on me like I literally said Sai hates you. Sai says to Brynn, yeah, because Jenna told me that you told her that I said that. Brynn then has a crazy spin. She unlocks cheer mode and begins with the tears. Coming into this season, Sai and Erin put me through hell from day one. Y'all called me a liar. And then Sai says, what are you talking about? I even invited you to Thanksgiving, but you were manipulative. You lie. Flashbacks have never shown that something that I have said has been a lie, but they have to you. You lie. This season reflected you for who you really are. You did this to yourself. Ooh. Period. I mean, the way Sai was coming in, y'all, she was not taking the BS. Brynn says, well, y'all called me names. Andy asks, what exactly did Sai do to you that you feel tormented for these 5 weeks? Brynn says, well, she screamed at me. Well, what about Erin? Brynn says, well, Erin called me names. Andy reads a question about Brynn sort of creating issues. She sort of created an issue between Erin and Jenna and Jessel. So the question is for Jenna. Does she see a pattern? And Jenna says that there is a stirring of the pot, and it does begin to hurt, because some of the things actually hurt people's feelings and are a total lie. And she's giving the example of when Brynn said that Jenna called Jessel a basic bitch, and that did hurt Jessel's feelings, and it was 100% a lie. Jenna never said it. Brynn says, well, what I do is that I immediately go tell people when others are talking about them. And Sai says, no, you embellish, you add. And Brynn says to Sai, why are you even talking? You project. Jenna does gather Brynn and says, we were trying to tell you, when you're retelling a story, you change the intent, and that you hurt someone else's feelings. Jenna and Erin point out how Brynn makes something that is innocuous to make it hurtful. And they're referring to when Brynn said that Erin said that Jenna had money problems. Erin is saying that it was just a funny, silly comment. So then they ask Jessel, what does she think? Because Jessel was there. Jessel was sort of walking on eggshells, and she says that, well, the story could be taken as that, but maybe not. They then talk about Brynn's text, because apparently she's like a very violent on text message, and Sai talks about a message where Brynn warned them that she was like carbon monoxide, like she was basically saying that if anyone talked about her, they would have hell to pay. So Sai says, you were threatening us over text. And Brynn says, I'm talking about the periodic table. I'm comparing myself to the periodic table, and you compare someone to a Pixar character. That's the difference between you and me. I said, not the periodic table. I was going, and then she says that she was went through a hard time with Jeff Lewis's comment while she was dealing with sexual assault. But I just thought, no, you can't weaponize that like that against someone else. But I'm glad that Sai, she wasn't backing down. And she says, you lie about a lot. You lie about how much money you make. You say that we will never understand that you work for Q3. You call us dumb. You call us broke. And then Brynn says, well, yeah, about that. I heard that you were telling Erin that you didn't know what I did for a living. And Sai says, yeah, that's right. I don't know what you do for a living. Brynn says, I do your job. Huh? Was that supposed to be a read? I don't know. Weird. Then they took a little break. During the break, though, I did catch Jenna say that she was thinking on returning her robe. Maybe there might be some truth to the rumors. I don't know. So then they focus on Erin, her storyline of the season, essentially her marriage, her mescal line, which I have a big issue with, her abortion story, and her parents' health. Of course, she's very upset because her dad died after filming. It's been about 3 months. Good news is, though, that she was able to tell him about her pregnancy before he died. That's nice. She says that his health problems were because of his heavy smoking. She talks about her Bitcoin drama and how she had a handbag line that failed. And she threw shade at Rebecca, which I didn't realize they were feuding, but we're going to see that in part 2. But she understands that A was trying to just be there for her. Then she talks about Bitcoin and she's gonna start in it again. They addressed the mezcal. Erin had proclaimed herself as the person who brought it to America. Now that's some BS, total cultural appropriation, but we're gonna move on. Jenna, Erin, and Raquel talk about the abortions that they've had, and then Erin even says that other housewives from other shows have reached out to her that they have as well. Moving along, they take a look at both Ubah and Jessel and their journeys for wanting to get pregnant, and Brynn as well. So first, Brynn talks about opening up about her sexual assault. She says that she shared it because last year when she shared about her parents and her upbringing, that definitely helped to heal her a bit by saying it on the show, so she thought maybe this could help as well. She gets emotional. She says that the person that did this to her is somebody who she still sees around. He was courting her at the time, and she did consider pressing charges, but she knows that it's hard to prove, and she's right. It's so underreported and hard to prove. And when you are going through it, I would imagine that the last thing you want to do is like go to the police or to the hospital. Some of the women share their thoughts. Erin, for one, says that she wishes that he could be outed because the fact that he's out there right now and could literally hurt another woman. But then Jenna explains how that's not always possible, especially if there is no physical proof. I thought it was incredible to see the empathy that they all had to Brynn. Ubah, even though she's, having her issue, despite that, she looked Brynn in the eyes and said, I'm sorry that you went through that. So moving along, Ubah has now moved in with Oliver. Yay! She's in Connecticut. I'm sure it's a very nice house. So she doesn't live in her apartment anymore. In regards to her fibroids, she will be removing them either this or next month. And then there's time to heal and then actually try it for a baby. Andy asks Brynn if her and Gideon have gone through with their little pact that they made to have a baby, but they haven't because of just issues and long distance stuff. Then they ask Jessel because Jessel does have an embryo. She says that they are actually stopping that. They want to get through the toddler years first of the kids that they already have, and she really wants her and her husband to be on the same page before they do something like that. I really do feel bad for Jessel. I know that I got so much flack for my comments on this earlier this season, but I stand on what I said. If I was Pavit and I knew all my wife wanted was a baby girl, and we already had an embryo that we are paying so much money to freeze, why not do it? Why not give her what she wants? I mean, it's a baby. Who doesn't want a lot of kids? Like, as a man, you're telling me you don't want to make your wife happy and have many descendants? I mean, I don't know. If I were her, I'd probably just do it without him because, children are such a blessing, and if she wants one, that's something that, I don't think you're ever going to regret having a kid, but I think you can regret not having one. Anyway, good news for Jessel, though, is that she's having a lot of sex. Sometimes with No, I'm just kidding. That's a joke. But she did say at least once or twice a week. Andy then says that he notices that Jessel has a glow up. She looks like an airbrushed version of herself. Why is that? And Jessel says, I don't know. I mean, I cut my hair. And then Brynn says, well, I introduced her to the person who made the changes. Jessel says, well, I did get Botox. And then Brynn's like, oh, come on, Jessel. You did much more than that. And then you ran out. And Jessel says, what are you talking about? I got Botox and filler. But what Brynn was trying to say was that Jessel didn't pay for the treatment. So Jessel was like, are you insane? You think I didn't talk to her about the agreement? I did a live video with her. So I'm guessing that this must have been like a partner sponsorship type of thing. Andy then was being a little rude, like kind of implying that Jessel's lying. But Jessel's like, I'm not done. I keep being interrupted. I got Botox, fillers, veneers, and lost weight. That's it. Then he brings up the conversation that Brynn, Erin, and Sai had in Puerto Rico by the pool about Jessel. Sai does apologize for the conversation. Just for quick context, in that conversation, they all three of them, were just talking mad crap about Jessel. I mean, just horrible things. But perhaps the worst thing that was said was by Brynn. Brynn said that last year when they were talking about who was the love of their lives, all of them said their husbands, but Jessel said that the love of her life was a man that she dated before. So now they're addressing it. And Jessel is beginning to talk. Brynn tries to interrupt, but Jessel says, no, let me talk for a second. So she says to Brynn, you distorted my words. I never said that. The conversation that we had was about what was the craziest hookup that you had. Brynn changed the words and said that it's about the love of my life, who was actually my husband, the father of my kids. So imagine having to sit there with Pavit on the couch, having to watch that. It was gut-wrenching. I was destroyed. Brynn says, I'm sorry. And Jessel's like, no, I'm talking. F you for a second. Check your facts. You're not married. I am, and I had to sit there and watch it with him. She says that when they saw it, Pavit just sat there and he thought she was lying. Jessel says not only that, my friends and family also had to watch that. His family members had to watch that. Do you not know what you did? What did you think it was going to do? Brynn apologizes, but then she tries to excuse it that in the moment she just really liked bonding with Erin and Sai. So Jessel says, you bond with people by saying horrible things about me? That's sad and cruel. And if that's the type of person you are, I need to reevaluate who you are, because I've always uplifted you. I'm always proud of you, but you beat me down. She says that every single comment Brynn has made in her confessionals when it comes to Jessel, it's been negative. And she says that that was the final nail in the coffin, and it's going to take a lot to, change that. And then Jenna's getting emotional and she says to Brynn, it's not okay. That's not okay. Like, that's damaging. Brynn then says, well, all season I was attacked. And Jenna says, no, stop defending it. Just stop. Apologize and say that you don't say anything. Just apologize. The spin is so dark. You knew what you were saying and you chose to repeat it. Wow, I'm glad Jenna finally stopped her. But that was the end of the episode, you guys. Oof, I'm telling you, this is one of the best reunions I've seen. Considering how boring the season was, I am shocked. But I will say, I'm glad Brynn is being called out. I'm glad she's being called out. People are doing it because they're tired of her BS. I will say, last night, I really do think that Jessel solidified her spot in the Real Housewives. And I think that we're going to be seeing her, because I've heard there's a lot of rumors going around that they're recasting the show and things like that. But I really do think that Jessel, really, I'm so proud of how she stood her ground, because these women, and Erin and Sai, let me just say, they're kind of like getting away with it because it's really hot for Brynn right now. But if we're being honest, Jessel should have gone and like drag them as well, because they too were very rude in that conversation. But again, I'm glad Jessel stood her ground. But you guys, this was a crazy reunion. Let me know what your thoughts were on part 1 of the Real Housewives of New York reunion. Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on next time. Y'all have a great one. Bye.